There, well, behind me is a very simple formula and effective one to actually facilitate you save a whopping 66,800. Perhaps you do not get yourself like a lot of money maybe in a day or maybe at the end of the month, and you're looking forward to do something in 2024 and usually wonder, well, what formula can I actually use so that I can be able to save my money and be able to do something at the end of the day? Guess what? This formula, actually, I did make this video like this year when it started, and a lot of people actually told me, hey, guess what, Joseph, that was the best formula that I've ever had that I can actually use whenever it comes to saving. All right, don't want to waste much of your time. Let's get into the business. But before we do things, this is what I usually post each and every day. Okay, so this is what I want you to do. And by the way, it's like saying thank you to me. It's like liking this video and also subscribing. Down below there is a small button written subscribe. Hit that magical button because this is what I do each and every day. So let's get into the business. Now, here is the formula with me. And I know somehow you are confused. You're like, okay, what is that? Fine. Let me just take you step by step and explain to you what we have on the board. Now, what we have on the board, obviously, we all know that an year is made up of 365 days, unless maybe it's a leap year, okay? So 365 days, that's what an year is made up of. And we want to do something called saving each and every day with respect to the amount of money corresponding to that specific day. Let me repeat. We want to save each and every day with respect to that amount of money, or the number of the day with the amount of money corresponding to that specific day. Now, what do I mean? For example, 1st January, which you guys will call it New Year, the beginning of New Year and all those kind of things, that is the first day of the year 2024. December 31st, 2024 will be the day 365. All right, so this is the first day, this is the last day. Obviously, I could have not written like 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 365. So this dash mean like there is a number between the, I bet you get what I'm saying. Okay, now this is how I want you to go ahead and be saving. Okay, the first day, which is on January the 1st, you save 1 shilling. Or save whatever the amount of money, that thing that you usually call it. If you watch from Zambia, by the way, I realize I have a lot of followers from Zambia, you save 1 kwacha. All right. If you watch from United States, you save $1. If you say you watch from UK, you save £1. Whichever you guys call your money. Okay. If you watch from Nigeria, my brothers from Nigeria, you save £1. If you watch from Ghana, you will save your CD. Okay. Now, if you watch from Ethiopia, you save your bir. Now, you save 1 shilling with respect to Kenya. We call it shilling here. You save 1 shilling. That's the day first. Second day, you save 2 shilling. How do you do this? Well, you can pick up. You see, in Kenya, we have a variety of areas where we can be able to save our money. For example, I don't want to mention the names of the companies because it will be like me giving them a shout out. But the point is, there is a way you can be able to save your money in a lock saving. First, in Kenya, we usually have the mobile banking system whereby you can save your money in a bank. You can lock it. It's like working with your bank in your phone. So pick that what is appropriate and rightful for you from your end. Okay. Now, this is how you do it. Okay. Now, I have a very nice template actually written very well and distributed. That template has all the numbers from day 1 to day 365. If you would like to get that template, you can always get my number from the description and get that template. That template goes only for 200. Has everything you would like to. And by the way, it does not limit to Kenyan. It actually applicable to any amount of money out there. Okay. Now, day 1, you save 1 shilling. Day 2, you save 2 shillings. Day 3, the same. Day 4, you save the 4 shillings. Now, how do you do it? So the moment day 1 comes, you have your 1 shilling, you go lock that 1 shilling, and then you come to that template that I've said I've prepared, a very nice one, and then you tick, meaning the day 1 is done. You go to the day 2, you do the same. All right. Now, I know it might appear as if it's a joke when you're starting. Okay. It appear as if it's a joke when you're starting because the day 1 you saved 1 shilling, the day 2 you saved 2 shilling. Okay. What does it mean? The day 1 plus the day 2, you have saved yourself 3 shilling. Okay, the day 2, the day 3, now you save the 3 shillings. Now, the 3 days, now it will be 1 plus 2 plus 3. It will be 3 plus 2, that is 5 plus 1, 6. So by the time you're on day 3, you've already saved your 6 shillings. So as you continue, you realize that the burden becomes a little bit harder and harder because you're required to save more money. For example, if you come where we have the day 300, you'd be required to save today 330, tomorrow you save 332, 333, 300. You get what I'm saying? Now, this is how I want you to do. Okay, you can, that is formula 1. You can actually follow as the day goes. Okay, you save day 1, day 2, day 3, as you continue as the day goes. Okay, now the reason why I was proposing you get that formula of mine, that template that I have actually made everything and divided it January, February, March up to December, it is because everything is written there. So now this is how you do it, because maybe let's say you're employed at the end of the month, you may not be able to do exactly this, and at the end of the month you are able to save, let's say 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, or even 1,000 bob. Now, this is how you do it. Let's say maybe at the end of the month, you manage to save like 2,000. Okay, so how do you save now here? You take this 2,000, you can decide to divide it into several. You can divide this money into 200, you can divide it into 300, you can divide it to 250, you can divide it into 100. You get what I'm saying? Now, what happens is that once you get the 200 out of the 2,000, you take this 200, you save it, and then you come to where the day 200 is, and then you tick it. You save your 300, you come to where the day 300 is, you tick it. You save the 301, whatever, you come where the 300, you get what I'm saying? And actually, that's one formula that you can be able to do it. The other way you can be able to approach this formula in a very effective way is to go ahead and save it randomly. What do I mean? For example, this applies well for people who are not employed formally. They actually go out there and get money in a different times of the day. What you can be able to do is, let's say today you've gone and you've made your 200 that it's savable. You go check to that from that template, you check where the day 200 is, and then 200 is there, and then you tick 200. And then maybe tomorrow God is good, everything is fine, and then you realize, hey, I have 330 shillings somewhere. Wow, you go, where is the 330 shillings? Oh, this is the day 300, you tick it. So by the time now you realize you've ticked the entire template because you are ticking it randomly. Once you save 280, you tick 200. Once you save your 300, you tick 300. Once you save 250, 150, 70, 80, 90, you tick it randomly. So by the time you realize at the year ends, you realize most of the boxes have been ticked corresponding with the amount. All right, and that's another way of actually approaching it. There is the third way of approaching it, and by the way, I had a group last year. Well, still this year, depends on when you're watching. 2020, I'm making this video, by the way, close to the last day of the year. Some people actually proposed like they can approach savings from the last day, because as you realized, the starting weeks or the starting month will be very simple. Actually, saving 1 shilling is not a big deal. You can actually decide to save 10 shilling. So once you save 10 shillings, does not mean you have saved for 10 days. Get my point. You have not saved for 10 days. Once you save 10 shilling, you go to where we have the 10th day of the year. You've only saved for that single day. Because the reason why I'm insisting in this is because when people are saving this in a simple way, when they're saving, and then they're telling me, but Joseph is not adding to 66 and what? Come on. It's adding up. This is actually a certain formula that we did learn in high school. I forgot the name of this formula, but there's some mathematics we learned in high school, whatever. You can actually, there's a formula. I don't want to go to the mathematics way because it appears if we are in a class. Anyway, the point is this. Now, there is another formula. That's why I'm saying attacking these savings from the backward. Why? Because from the backward, there is a time will come. Can you imagine this? When you hit the day 300, and for the next 60 something days, 65 days to be specific, you are required to save at least 300 Kenyan shillings. So 300 today, 301 tomorrow, 302, 303 the other day, that way until you hit the last day, which is 365. So some people may decide to attack these savings from the backward. Now they save the first 365, 364, 363, 362, 361, just that way until they come to this specific place. Sometimes they may what we call it, they may not get that amount of money in between there. So what they do, they can just keep. If you realize you didn't get your 300 today, then you can, if you got your 300 at 250, you go to where the day 250 is, you save that amount of money, and then you tick, you say, hey, that's it. Guess what, guys? This formula may appear as if it's a joke, but guess what it will get you? It will get you this amount of money. And maybe if you're watching this, you can decide, hey, not to just save, but save and invest at the same time. You can pick in Kenya, we do have several ways of savings, like money market funds. You can pick something like okay, fine, I don't want to mention those names. Anyway, guys, you can check it out. Maybe perhaps if you want my customized information or financial guidance on the same, you can pick that number of BINE, and then I'll be able to take you through and tell you what areas you can be able to save and be able to acquire this amount of money. And you can imagine this, at the end of the year, and by the way, take this thing seriously, because this amount of money at the end of the year, maybe you've been having a very tough time saving your money, and then you have this amount of money by the time you're clocking the 2024. This amount of money, honestly speaking, you can start yourself as business somewhere where you can actually be making something else and be making an extra income. And therefore, meaning that by God willing 2025, you can be able to be getting two sources of income, where you are getting initially before starting, and now where you are getting this amount of money from your investment. Therefore, it means your journey towards your financial freedom becomes easier and easier, and not only easier, but also it becomes faster, because the rate at which you're saving, it's quite elevated compared to previously how you were doing it. Anyway, guys, maybe perhaps you've ever heard of this formula. Does not make any harm if you're hearing it for the second time. Maybe you did watch my last video last year. Well, then I didn't have a board like I can illustrate the way I'm doing right now. So every day there is a progress. Every day there is an action. And the point is this: we are here to try as much as we can achieve the financial freedom. Okay? And by the way, I do believe in this. Just like an iron sharpens another iron, so do we learn from each other. I believe I also can have something that I can learn. You have something that I can as well learn from you. That's why I always encourage you, please leave a comment on the comment section. Tell me, hey, do you have another better way how we can be able to save? Because I bet I have like 4 ways on how we can be able to save. Okay, I gave last video, I gave another challenge of 100,000. You can pick this one if maybe the other one was a bit bigger. And there is another video coming up, by the way, another simple way also for savings. So 2024, we're gonna try as much as we can to bring forth ways on how we can be able to save money and be able to progress to the next level. All right, so make sure that you pick that number of mine from the description, pick that number, call me, and therefore I can be able to send you that copy in a soft copy form. I've told you it's only 200 Kenyan shillings. You can get your copy and progress to the next level. For now, it's a goodbye, but never forget this: becoming wealthy, making money is never an event. It's always a process. Enjoy the process, be consistency, have the discipline, and do what we call the sacrifice. Because let me tell you one secret: whenever we are starting the year, a lot of people are excited, they are happy, they feel this is their year, and there is nothing wrong with that. But the problem is this: at the moment they clock the first month, they realize that they have not even following what they say they will do, and that is the worst thing that you can ever do whenever it comes to savings. It's always good to stick to the formula, stick to the discipline that you say. And I said this, come on guys, if you can only sacrifice for 1 year, only 365 days, only 365 days, just shut all those things that usually consumes your money. Okay, if it is going outing, if it's consuming maybe or whatever, or just if you can just shut it for the next 365 days. It all starts with the sacrifice, and then discipline, consistency. That's how you make great. There was a time I was making videos, nobody was watching me, but I didn't say, hey, I won't make videos because people aren't watching, and didn't give up. You keep on pushing, until you reach to a point whereby you can say, hey, now things are working for you. All right, for now it's a goodbye, and see you in the next one.